Hi, my name is Bug Norris. Thank you very much for coming by my channel today. Today what I will be attempting to do is to explain my basic layout in Logos and how I use it. Now, if you're familiar with Logos Bible software, it's an extensive software package that you can have an extensive library and make use of your study of scriptures, no matter what kind of depth you want to study your scriptures by. In doing my studies, I usually have a basic setup, although in Logos, you can have an unlimited amount of layouts. It comes with some basic quick start layouts, but you can have your own layouts, name them whatever you want. When you click on a layout, it brings up the configuration exactly as you last saved the layout. Well, this is my basic layout. Usually I have two monitors. Now I'm not running two monitors right now for the purpose of this demo, but to show you, this is my main window in Logos, my main window. And then usually I have displayed on a secondary screen a second floating window that has multiple tabs on it as well. Okay, now let me go back to the main window and kind of explain what I have in it. In Logos, you can have configuration however you want, but this is how I have mine set up. I have two main windows. The first window is this one right here, and I have several tabs on it that I'll explain. And then the second window is this one right here that also has several tabs on it. And I'll explain each one of these windows and each one of these tabs as we go along here. My first window over here, I have my first tab set to my English Bible. Now I also have the parallel aspect set up where it shows me in parallel the Greek text. And you can do it either way. And you notice that this window right here is a little bit larger, and I do that because of this split window where I see both the English translation, my ESV version, and then the Greek translation from the Nestle Aland text. Second tab I have here is to the fact book. You should be familiar with the fact book, but tremendous tool, and always keep that open. Next, I have the search box, the search tab. Now, you notice with the search tab, there's a little arrow or a target, red target on it. That is because I've gone in here and set to send searches here. So any searches that I do, and I'll explain searches in another video, any searches that I do will end up going to this particular tab rather than opening up a separate tab. So my searches always go, unless I tell it otherwise, to this particular search tab. I actually have two fact book windows open. I'm going to close that one. Next window section, this area right through here, is a little bit smaller, and I have 1, 2, 3 tabs open. The first one is a text comparison. Sometimes I want to compare the translation just with a quick glance, and I can see, and you can set up the text comparison however you want. This is where I have the New King James Version, the ESV, the NIV, the LEB, the NLT, and the Lexham Greek text, where I'm able to see at a glance the different translations of particular words as I read. Then I have a commentary tab, and I might just show you here. This is set to tab A, or link set A, and over here I have the translation set to A as well, to where whatever verse I'm on will show up there. Then I also have this set for my commentary. Now from here, I can pick whatever commentary I want. We'll talk about that feature in another video. And then also in this tab, I have a quick link, and this particular layout that I have now is my basic New Testament setup. So I want my New Testament lexicon here. The one I use primarily is a Lexham Analytical lexicon because I find it extremely useful in the information that it supplies. The second window, let's go over there. I have another window, and I only have one window on this particular setting, and it's a floating window. I do that because a lot of times when I click on a reference, it will bring it up in this, right in this configuration. Let me show you, for example, here. If I wanted to, if I did a search and I wanted to bring up Luke 3:15, I click it right there, and it comes up in that second window, or it should, where it's supposed to go. Sometimes it doesn't quite work that way. Well, let's say I look up an Old Testament reference in this second window, and that way I've got the English translation, I've got the Hebrew equivalent, and also the Septuagint equivalent if I'm looking up a New Testament verse. If not, if it's English, if it's the Greek New Testament, it will just have the English and the Greek. So that's my first tab, and all links are supposed to go there. Then I have a commentary that is linked specifically to the lookup on this window. Then I have my Greek diagrams, lays out the diagrams where I can better understand the Greek structure as it's presented. The next tab is that of the Greek lexicon. Same thing that I had on the other window, only a different view of it. And this one is set to the same lookup set, D. So on this window, when I look up a word, let's find one here, hearts, for example. If I right click on that and choose to look it up in the Lexham Dictionary, my main one, it brings it up there. And then this window here will also look it up. It'll also look it up in BDAG because I have set that to D. This is my Hebrew lexicon, so it won't be there. But here's my lexicon of the Septuagint. So I can see the use of the Septuagint of that particular word. So that's my basic setting for doing Bible study. And I'll explain further some more uses of this and how I use this setup in the following videos. Thank you very much for coming by, and I welcome any comments that you might have. Have a great day.